Have you ever gone someplace after work, either to eat, get a drink, just relax when it's all said and done, and overheard a conversation between two or three morons where you're like, what the hell are you idiots talking about? Well, I had that experience, and it was actually pretty eye-opening and kind of hilarious with a well-known bullying channel. The offending bullying channel in question is one that I've time and time again railed against, and it's funny because it's the same song and dance. So earlier today, I was watching a couple of different videos on a wide range of topics, and decided, you know what? I wonder if, with everything going on, the Stinky Yankee channel was still up to its same old tricks. If they had come out with any new content, or if it was kind of just the same old tired song and dance. Now, the reason for that was, with the recent run-up in spot price of silver, the game had changed to, this is it, it's going to be, the next run for silver. Oh, it could come back down. I like how he started, ever since earlier this year when there was the big run-up in silver, he started to hedge his bets by saying it could be a short term and it could go right back down. But again, taking advantage of the FOMO, taking advantage of the hype around silver, same kind of thing. And then goes right back to the tried and true fear and FOMO, the economy is going to collapse, and so on and so on. But it was absolute comedy watching, Yankee, who strikes me as I don't know anything about Yankee, but he strikes me as kind of that guy who kind of got left behind, and after high school, his friends, either became tradesmen, went to school, did something, and kind of just, ended up making something of themselves. And there's always that guy that's kind of just, trying to get by, trying to, sound more authoritative on something than they are. And then they get sucked into like, a guru or, the pyramid scheme, whatever it is, to try to get them to the next level. And that's what it strikes me as. When I'm listening to Tim, it really sounds like, there's something there as far as like, trying to be the jack of all trades. For one thing, I mean, if you're talking about gold and silver, there's enough knowledge there to last a lifetime, which is why, you see with Tim that, he wants to have expertise on every subject. He's got to be able to talk about the economy and about treasury yields and the Fed. And I get that, if you're a coin dealer, those kind of things they're relevant to what you do. I mean, right? As far as, how you would think price action plays out in, precious metals. But I mean, are you really an authority on the subject? I mean, really, like at the end of the day, you can watch cycles and you can, educate yourself. It's not that you need to have, a master's degree in finance or economics to be able to, speak to your clients per se about, what's going on in the economy. But I mean, when you see two people, when you see Yankee and you see Tim just kind of diving into the nuts and bolts of how the system works and how it's all a charade and a scam and, China doesn't own as much debt as it used to. There's no winning with these people. You think about you think about theories in general, and I love a good conspiracy theory. I like hearing it. It's funny because it's like, with the really good ones, it's like, wait, what if that was actually true? Like, you don't know, right? Like, and that's what makes conspiracy theories fun. But then there's the people who go, full throttle into it. I saw a very funny quote, or I don't know if it was a video, like a short, or if it was like a quote on something, when it was talking about like people who are like really deep into conspiracy theories and they go, head over heels. And it was saying that, if you're ever talking to one of those people and they're, going down their conspiracy theories, like let's say, for example, the moon landing, and then, they're like, have you heard the conspiracy about the moon landing? And then you confront them with, oh, you're one of those people that believes in the moon. I mean, it literally does get that crazy. And it's funny, like when you hear, Yankee and Tim talking about, the economy and this and that, and, they're going to manipulate that. It's just kind of sad because it's like, okay, either you don't know what the hell you're talking about, which to me very likely could be the case, but also that it's like everything has to have the fear narrative to it. It's like what they don't seem to gauge, or they're being just completely disingenuous, is that the system is the system. The system is built to perpetuate itself, not to advocate one thing or another, and it's definitely not built to come crashing down so that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Bill Gates can be just regular people again, just like us. No, the system is built to funnel money to the top and basically use the masses as a mechanism to do that. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, if we're gonna go down the conspiracy route, that's the one I would pick. But it's funny to hear them talking about like the strength of the dollar or U.S. Treasury demand or things like that, and it's like, come on, Yankee, and even Tim. Again, you could be running your coin shop for 80 years. I don't care. It doesn't make you an expert on certain things. It's just like when I hire a contractor, to come fix something. I don't know what the hell. If you gave me a bunch of pipes and said, "Hey, can you connect these together and make it look like what's going on in the house?" Maybe. Do I know what the hell I'm doing? No. That's the same concept. Can you take nuts and bolts and put something together? Probably. But does it mean that you know what you're doing? No, it doesn't. And that's honestly a lot of what you see on like Yankee. It's tough to watch sometimes because it's like you see them talking with such authority on it, like, oh, this is this is that. And it's like, wow, like really, like, no, that's actually not how it works. That's actually not what we're talking about here. And in fact, it's like you present one side of the equation, not the other. It's whatever fits the narrative. The reality, again, with all of these different things economically, what do they have to do with gold and silver? Not much. I mean, the reality is, like, you can make all the different assumptions about what gold and silver should be doing, in certain conditions. And I mean, it's clearly shown that it doesn't necessarily do that, especially in the short run. If we're talking about over a few year period, yeah, it's basically gambling. You have no idea what, which way price is going. Secondly, when you try to present yourself as an authority on things like Fed policy or interest rates or fixed, the bond market, do you really think Tim is an expert on the bond market? Do you think Yankee is? Because listening to them speak about it, I mean, I can find articles on the internet all day. Silver Dragons kind of does the same thing. Pulls out articles from left field talking about, this person says this about gold and silver, and the US dollar is gonna stop. It's just literally like ridiculousness. And I ask myself how many people like fall head over heels for that kind of thing, thinking that with gold and silver, you're betting on the collapse of everything. Well, if that's the bet you're making with gold and silver, I promise you're gonna lose. Not just because that's most likely not gonna happen, at least in the short run. But also, gold and silver aren't going to save you from the collapse. They're good to have, and as a hedge against lots of different things. I mean, it's good to have some, better than none, right? But the bottom line is it going to be the magic bullet that's going to take you to the promised land? No, it won't. I mean, in fact, if you don't have the other, aspects, the food and the protection, it's actually making you more of a target than anything. But that being said, like, that's the problem I see, like, with videos like with Tim and with Yankee, and it's just about, let me talk about, sovereign finance or like the economy. And no, I don't understand why they feel they have to do that when it's something that they clearly don't understand. Or maybe they do have a more than rudimentary understanding of it, but they deliberately portray it as something that it's not. I mean, the bottom line with the system is designed to perpetuate the system. I mean, that is the bottom line. I was watching one part of this video, which I'll link in the description, with Yankee and Tim's talking about, well, China used to own more debt and they don't, so that's a bad thing. But at the time, Tim was talking about how, oh, China owns all our debt. So which one is it, Tim? Do you want China to own, the highest percentage of foreign-owned U.S. debt? And never forget, the largest holder of U.S. debt by far is Americans. So, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, do you want the foreign holder of U.S. debt to be China, or do you want it to be Japan or Germany? Pick one so that we can accommodate your stupidity, Tim. Please, pick one, and then we'll make sure that they are the top holder of, U.S. treasuries. Then Tim and Yankee are talking about falling interest rates, yields, and, bond demand. And I'm like, what the hell do you know about bond demand, Tim? Or you, Yankee, what do you know anything about that? What do you know about yields? And you don't. I mean, it's kind of pathetic. Like I said, like, it's like It's the same way that a contractor looks at, you know, the homeowner when the homeowner's like, "Nah, I want da, da, da," and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, you're clearly an idiot." That is the same disdain that I look at this video from, you know, Yankee with Tim. Again, I decided to give it a chance because I thought, you know, well, maybe, you know, the tune has changed now that he hit his 100,000 subs and he's got 140,000 or whatever it is. And it's just, no, it's like they have not changed the recipe at all. It's the same, you know, Coke classic that you've been getting. And that's fine. I get it. It works. But I mean, as far as a service to the community or a service in general to like the individuals that watch that garbage, it is far more a disservice than any value you're really getting.